How the heck are you guys? I'm Fastidious, and welcome to a hero showcase on the new and improved Gluttony. This guy didn't just get a buff, he got a full-on rework. He is very much new. It's like a new hero, and he's very much improved. We're gonna get into it in just 1 second. I do wanna mention, we are of course on the test server. This will not go live until the patch 6 days time from now on October the 10th. But guys, we are here live in the Fastidious test server. This is the test server. This isn't real yet, guys, but it is coming soon. So without further ado, let's check out Gluttony here. And the way I always like to start off is going to be with base stats, right? So let's pop open the hero details. Let's bring this guy to max level. As you can see here, he's got extremely healthy base stats, guys. Over 23,000 HP, almost 4,800 attack. That doesn't matter though. We'll get to that in a second. And then 1656 defense. It's okay. His cost is only 16. Standard revival time. He's got a nice kind of middle of the road 2.6 second attack interval, and then a 13 regen auto. So to give you just some way to ground those numbers, particularly the HP and the defense, because that is what's going to matter for Gluttony. The average HP for a fighter is going to be 16,476. As you can see here, he's got 23,315. That can go all the way up to 24,065 if you get him to Awakening level 2. That is much, much higher, but he is now officially not just an HP based champion, but an HP damage. His damage is now HP based as well. So you need healthy HP. He's a tanky guy. If we look at average defense for a fighter, it's 2,029. He's below average actually at 1,656. You are going to probably want to put some defense on him if you're going to use him to tank certain content. And if you're going to use him as a full out tank, which we'll get into later, definitely defense is going to be, and even flat defense is going to have to be something you hunt for. You can see here, guys, also on your screen, I've given the average HP and the average defense for defenders because he stacks up okay with defenders as well. This guy's going to be a straight up tank for a lot of people, especially when they're progressing through the early mid game into the end game, right? So the average HP of a defender is 23,032. Gluttony beats it out there at 23,315, and then all the way over 24,000 with Awakening level 2. And then for defense, again, he falls short. It's over 2,900 average defense for a defender, and he's at 1,656. So there are just some numbers, guys, just so you can ground yourself and start understanding him. Let's look at the Gluttony I have built out and start breaking down his skills and his talent, because he really is a new hero. He is officially the first champion, the first hero in the game that will be live that is HP based in terms of damage. So let's straight up go to the talent, guys. Damage scales off HP, right? So damage scaling off of HP, not off defense like a few champions, and not like attack like most of the champions in the game, off of his health points, off of his hit points. After eliminating an enemy, increases max HP by 6%, grows larger in size, stacking up to 5 times. This effect lasts for 30 seconds. So I believe that the way I've been observing it, each stack will last for 30 seconds. So if you can keep killing, it will keep refreshing, and you can max out these 5 stacks. Increasing the max HP is enormous. As you can see, he's got great base HP, so an extra 30% with 5 stacks is gonna help in a big way. In terms of growing larger in size, I've been trying to do, me and Pink Jesus have been trying to do some testing behind the scenes to figure this out. Unclear what being larger in size means, but better than being smaller, I presume. Let's get into the skills now. So his basic attack, it's physical damage, 110% damage to one enemy. Remember, that is going to scale off of his HP, so you don't need to build 1 drop of attack on this guy. Also, you might be thinking, because it's scaling off HP, can he still crit, or is it just like true damage where he can't crit? No, he absolutely can still crit. You are going to want to get him in like a proper DPS build, but just subbing in HP for where you would have previously probably done attack, maybe occasionally defense, right? Depending on the hero. Then for his passive, Smash, each stack of the talent also brings a 10% chance of turning basic attacks into enhanced attacks. So what is an enhanced attack? It's going to deal 300% damage to up to 5 enemies ahead of him and inflict stun upon them. Stun is very underpowered. It's going to make them stunned for half a second, unable to take any action. Half a second's not very long in this game, but it's better than nothing. Up to 5 enemies is really cool. We'll get into Awakening shortly, but you can make this a lot stronger. And yeah, guys, keep in mind these numbers you're seeing here are with a fully skilled up hero. Obviously, for the test, we have fully skilled up Gluttony here. Finally, let's get to the ultimate, the best stuff. Rips and kills one enemy in range with teeth. He just will delete the enemy. It's not a damage-based thing. So if you can think of like the kind of termination effect that Virna has, for example, with her ultimate, where it kills enemies with HP below 35% after short delay, here's a very timid, tamed out version of it, where he's just gonna rip and kill one enemy. It's nice, but you wish it was more. You wish it was a bit of an AoE, maybe like 3 normal enemies. You can see this does not apply to elites, so those are the higher level mobs you face, the higher level enemies, and then of course not to bosses either. When you skill this up though, it can get a nice multiplier, 800% damage. That's when he hits the elites or the bosses. After casting the skill, he recovers 50% of his max HP. So he has got a nice self-sustain in there, and he's got obviously a huge HP pool. So if you build him like we did, as you're gonna see in a second, pretty nice stuff. Let's go straight into Awakenings now, because especially with legendary champions, I don't like to harp too long on Awakenings. With epic champions, especially with someone like Gluttony, you're gonna want to get Awakenings in him, and you've probably pulled a few copies already if you've been playing the game. So I want to highlight what are the most important Awakenings and what is he going to get out of them. So I mentioned that his smash would improve his passive. At Awakening level 1, he's going to deal 20% extra damage to targets inflicted with burn. He doesn't actually put out burn himself, but he's in the Nightmare faction, where you've got plenty of heroes that are putting out burn, right? Your Wrath, Arrogance, many other heroes like that. So 20% extra damage, really nice, a nice little multiplier there. An extra 750 HP, I told you guys about that already on Awaken level 2. 750 HP extra is not a lot. A lot of champions like Vortex, for example, at his Awaken 2, he gets 1200 extra. I wish it was 1200, but 750, it's better than nothing. Awaken level 3, this is probably where you're going to want at least to get him, to make him proper usable. I mean, he could be usable to make him really shine. His smash target is increased by 3, so 3 additional enemies he can hit. His attack range is also expanded. That's kind of huge. So when he does trigger this smash, with the enhanced attack, he's now gonna hit 8 enemies. I will say I do wish this was more than 10%, because it feels like it's not hitting as often as I would like. I want this to be like a proper AoE, and it kind of isn't, but you do kind of have to use him, as you're gonna see, as a bit of an AoE champion. If this was like 25% or 50% or something, but at least like 25%, I think it'd make a pretty big difference. You guys will see it in our testing. At A4, -2 cost, I really like this one. If you remember, he's a 16 cost champion. 14 cost for a fighter is very affordable in this game, easy to deploy. And then here, when deployed, gains 3 stacks of talent immediately. So if you don't remember the talent, you're gonna get up to 5 stacks. Let me pull that up for you guys really quickly. So you're going to get max HP for each stack plus 6%, and he's going to grow larger in size, right? The talent also is going to correspond to this 10%. I guess what I'm really trying to say is I wish this was 20%, not 25%, because then when you had 5 stacks, you would always be triggering the enhanced attacks. But so basically, you really, this is kind of how his whole kit's going to synergize when we get into the PvE content, as you're going to see, or even in AoE DPS arena, as I say it. For artifacts, let's go over to artifacts. I think Soul Drainer is going to be his best in slot. He's going to operate quite similarly to Abomination, if you guys are familiar. So he's a normal fighter unit. He's got a base block of 2. This is going to give him an extra block. That's really good. And it's also going to give him a lot of extra self-sustain. You can see we maxed out this artifact, but I do think I have an unmaxed copy to show you somewhere. Here you go. You can see, so even at base promo, like no promotions here, you're still gonna get 0.7% of his max HP in terms of a heal that he's gonna recover every time he deals damage to one target, stacking up to 3 targets, right? So if you can get him with a decent amount of attack speed, he's attacking a lot, he has a good job of keeping himself up. Not the best job in the world, he probably still needs a healer, but between that and his ultimate and his super high base HP, and you're gonna build him with a lot of HP, as you're gonna see in just 1 second, I think this is a great choice for him. And I think for a lot of content that I'll explain at the end when we get towards our conclusion section, for a lot of content, especially earlier on in the game, he could just be a tank for you, a damage dealing tank. And it's pretty nice if he has an extra block, right? 2 block really isn't enough. 3 block is kind of the standard. That's kind of fine. All right, the other things I would want to highlight here in terms of damage, I think he's a very nice candidate for Crystal of Vileness, as well as everyone in this game, basically. And then he also could operate quite well with Eye of Sin, but you would want to be in a situation where he's killing a lot of enemies, making sure he's getting the stacks of his talent, because you want as much AoE as possible. But if you can be in a situation like Gear Raid 1, as you're going to see, where you got a lot of AoE, this is pretty cool. You get the 10%, and then you get bonus AoE damage as well. So it's a solid option. But I do think Soul Drainer is going to be what shines. All right, let's talk about gear, guys. So we haven't really had a need to have, I mean, there's a couple heroes like someone, let's do a shout out for Deimos, right? He's got a special talent where he does not a little bit of extra damage based off of his HP. I'll just show you guys right now in case you are unfamiliar. So if we go to Deimos here, basic attack deals an additional damage equal to 2% of the hero's max HP. It's not much, but we do have a bit of this effect. However, this is a hero most of us are going to build with attack anyway. That's the way you should. This is just kind of gravy. With Gluttony, obviously, straight up, you need HP bonus main stat accessories, right? But you need DPS substats, right? You might be lacking that thus far. I did my best on this account to put something together. You can see we have a decent build here, almost 57,000 BP. I'll show you the stats, 90k HP, that's very nice. Defense is a bit low. I do wish this was a bit higher. I think you're gonna want him for most content with about 3k defense. And you can see if we go down to crit rate, only 63% crit, 177% crit damage, not much of an extra bit there. But I do think the reason I'm happy with this build, I think it's pretty realistic because we might have a couple pieces, like I'll break down the gear pieces individually right now. You might have a couple, HP focused DPS pieces, so pieces with like HP and crit and attack speed, things like this, but you probably haven't been focusing them and saving them the way you have with like attack bonus main stats, right? So let's go in and I'll show you the pieces I was able to scrounge together. So keep in mind, guys, this flat attack roll does not help. Attack doesn't do anything at all for him, right? His damage is not based on attack at all. Crit rate, though, pretty nice. A little defense will take it. And attack speed, like I said, you're going to want a lot of attacks. It certainly increases the opportunity of triggering smash because it's going to happen with each attack, right? The chance at 10%, which can grow with each stack, is triggered based upon the basic attack. So you're going to want some attack speed. Moreover, the more attacks he's doing, the more opportunity when there's a lot of AoE going around that he's the one that actually gets the kill, and then he gets extra stacks, right? From the talent over here. So attack speed's super important to us. You can see we got an extra 134. So here we got HP bonus. Again, it's not perfect, but this is probably the best piece we found. We are going broken set here on accessories, guys. We are missing out. Attack bonus doesn't matter. Attack speed, pretty good again. Crit rate, very nice. Crit damage, very nice. Here we got HP bonus, crit rate pretty good. I wish we had more attack speed, but we'll take it. Attack bonus doesn't matter. The defense bonus certainly helps. Here, guys, I think we'll talk about sets in a second, but just we can talk about for weapon and breastplate right now. Absolutely, Life Force is the way you're going to want to go. If you can ascend up or get better pieces and go to this mythic immortal gear with the immortal warrior breastplate and immortal warrior weapon, getting the extra 10% defense on top of the 25% HP is going to be really nice for him because he does really need a bit of defense as well, since he does have that lower base defense than your typical fighter and certainly your typical defender. But here you can see we got some nice defense, some nice HP. The attacks don't matter to us at all. Here, just a touch of crit. You wish it was more, but I really just picked this piece. I switched off a better DPS piece just to get some more defense on him. The flat defense roll is really nice because he doesn't have the highest base defense. And then HP bonus, obviously. So the final build, just to recap, right, we went like 90k HP, nearly 3k defense, and then we looked for everything else. We looked for attack speed. We got the attack interval down to 1.8 seconds. Pretty fair. And then we just looked for other extra crit-based DPS stats that we could get. So guys, that is our Gluttony. One more thing I want to mention, then we'll get into sets. He is a 900 ultimate rage cost hero, so he is a good candidate for the Wisdom set. I wanted to shout that one out. He's going to be good in most DPS sets. Something you might not think about, though, if I can just pull up the sets really quickly. All right, guys, I finally found what I was looking for, the Asclepius set, right? So it is a healing-based set, and I'm pretty sure heal effect is not going to help him because he doesn't like heal himself. He just straight up recovers the HP. It's kind of confusing with the syntax, but I'm pretty sure it's not considered a heal. Granted, he does get a heal, I believe, from the artifact if you're using the artifact we had on him. However, this, just for more HP, the plus 10% max HP, pretty good. Basically, the number one thing you want on him is as much HP as possible, so that is also a good shout. All right, moving along, let's bring this guy into some content. We're going to feature him in 2 pieces of content today. I thought let's try him out in the guild boss. I think that's a great just general testing ground. And then I think we're going to bring him to a place where he properly shines, and that we're probably going to do 2 different runs for Gear Raid 1. So let's get into it, guys. Guild boss, we're going to take him into Nightmare 3. That's where we like to do most of our testing. This is the team, guys. We're just going straight up Nightmare team. It should be good enough. And then we've got some support. Venoma's only there to reduce the cost of Eloin, so she can keep regenerating rage for everyone, or everyone that's within her range. And then Dolores obviously is just there for some attack buff. And I'm doing this really just to be fair, because keep in mind, he gets no benefit from the inspiration put out by Dolores. No extra attack is gonna help him, but it wouldn't be a fair comparison if we weren't running like Arrogance and Abomination and Wrath and whomever's in Dolores' range with the natural boost you probably would in a proper comp. All right, let's hop in here and let's get going. I'll probably just set it up, guys, and then I'll speed to the end. Not too many interesting things to note. I will explain my placements in case it helps people. Let's get Gluttony down first, because why not? We can get Wrath down just right next to him. We'll put Arrogance behind him because he's probably going to be the biggest damage dealer, and we want to compare that. Let's get Dolores here so she's helping. I could have switched Wrath and Gluttony, but Wrath is really just there as our fourth body. The same way Volca is also going to be the fourth, now fifth body, and her real purpose is just going to be get those vulnerabilities up. Eloin, you'll see she's only going to be able to fit into her range because we're doing a fighter comp. She's only going to be able to fit into her range, Arrogance and Gluttony, but that will be probably the best comparison since Arrogance is going to be our best DPS. All right, guys, I'm going to let this run. I'm going to fight the battle, and then I'll check in with you at the end. All right, guys, there you can see our team did get wiped. When I originally was running this, it was with Salazar. I figured let's go for a weaker team. I guess it's cool to point out, though, because if you're using Gluttony in the guild boss, as you're going to see, the damage is not that great. It's probably because we don't want her here. It's probably because you don't have stronger options and you're earlier on in the game. And it's cool that he tanked it. He tanked the big wipe. So I do think I'm going to leave that in. I think that was cool to see. When I originally did this, it was with Salazar, but I figured let's not use crazy OP champions. We're already using Arrogance to make sure we're getting those burns along with the other guys. So yeah, you're gonna see the damage now. It is it's not horrible, but this is not where he's gonna shine. Anyone that was thinking of using him here, let's go to stats. As you can see, he did like a bit worse than Wrath. You see, Arrogance is the star of the show. I'm hoping actually I can show you my previous run that I did. I think I should be able to. You can get a good sense if you're running him like as just a sub for a better champion in like a proper team you might be using. I think they should give me, yeah. Are they gonna give me my best score? They're not. Is there a way I can, guys, let me know in the comments. Is there a way I can see you can see I've done 2 attacks. Maybe be in records. Yes, here you go. Okay, cool. Because you can see I ran with Salazar, and here you go. Obviously, we're getting a lot more damage from a lot more places. Arrogance, again, really shining. But you can see there, with everyone not dying, we got a lot bigger numbers. And it's pretty, at best, mid. But I think Komodo's free, and him with the bleed, just build like a nice, tanky, high attack speed Komodo. I think that's going to be a lot better than Gluttony. I don't think this is a place he shines, but I did think it was a good place to demo him to get a sense of his damage, particularly obviously his single target damage. However, onto a place he is going to excel, the Gear Raid 1. So guys, Gear Raid 1, he's not doing magic damage or anything. However, he can put out some proper damage if you can get those AoEs going and he can get some kills. So we're gonna do 2 runs now, guys. The first run, I just wanna do like a straight up comparison kind of between him and Abomination, because he's kind of turned into now, it's not a perfect match, but kind of like an epic version of Abomination with this really high HP and these high base stats, and you're going for this tankier build, right? So let's make sure they're both running the exact same artifacts. They should be, so maxed out Soul Drainer there. Let's go up to Abomination. As you can see, maxed out Soul Drainer. And we're just gonna kind of, run this Nightmare comp. I'm not gonna use Lightlock right now. I'm gonna save him for the second one, but we're just gonna use this comp right here, guys, the 7-man team, and see how well we can do. And again, I am gonna use Dolores. It's not gonna help him, but I wanted to be a fair comparison. If we're gonna compare him to Abomination, a lot of people might use Dolores. I think I do wanna give that comparison. Let me know if you guys think that's a good idea. I just, I also kind of want to highlight, guys, this is a good moment to talk about it because there's not really a section for me to go on about this, but it's frustrating. This was a big thing in Raid Shadow Legends if you guys ever played it. Maybe they changed it since I quit the game, but you can buff attack-based damage dealers, you can buff defense-based damage dealers, but with HP, there's no like increase HP buff per se. I mean, there's a couple ways you could probably go about getting it in this game, but there's nothing like a Dolores providing this inspiration. To that, it's like Dolores is gonna be on so many endgame teams. I think Gluttony is really hurt by that because he can't benefit from that inspiration at all, since of course his attacks mean nothing. His attack stats mean nothing, I shall say. It's really just about the HP with him. Okay, very silly of me. I meant to bring Eloin into the fight. We don't need her for the second battle because we're going to use Gluttony as our melee unit that Lightlock heals, but for this one, obviously we need her. So let's get into this fight. So guys, I'll talk you through all my placements and everything. But I think most important is going to be just seeing the results at the end. So we'll fast forward once I get all these guys down. I am, like I said, going to use Dolores just to make it fair to Abomination. I think to even it out, since the gear on Abomination's better, since we just have better attack-based damage dealing gear with crit and stuff than we do HP-based, let's bring Autumn just to help make their crit a little more even and their crit damage a little more, you know, level the playing field a bit, give them both that buff. Because of that, we will bring Lightlock just to heal up Autumn. But for now, let's get our Nightmare units down. So Lightlock will be a tiny source of magic damage, but Autumn won't need to be healed much, so there won't be many splashes. This is basically going to be like a straight up just Nightmare comp physical damage, you know, with a touch of support from other places. We got to get Eloin down though. I hope I wasn't too slow. Come on now. There we go. Okay, looking good. I'm just gonna get my last placements of Lightlock and Maul, and then we can focus on the end. And you'll see, guys, Maul is 22 costs. I didn't want to make any of this too overpowered, so Maul is only Awaken level 3. But yeah, you can see we're doing okay. No magic damage in sight. It's still super possible up to Gear Raid 1, Stage 18 to make this all happen. I waited too long getting Lightlock down, so we'll have to redeploy Autumn shortly, but it's okay. Let's fast forward to the end and let's see how we do. All right, guys, we're getting towards the end of that fight right now. You guys can see when Autumn was ready, I took Maul out. I mean, the fight's not too hard for us, to be honest. But look at that. He cleared his row faster than our boy Abomination was able to. I think you're gonna be pretty interested in seeing the stats here. He fares really well when it comes to this AoE content, this like kind of standard big bunches of mobs PvE content. He's a pretty cool champion. We'll really break it all down at the end when I give my conclusions, but I think certainly in terms of progression, I think he's really good. Like I said, not the best build on Maul, but you can see he out-damaged him, and he kind of hung him with Abomination, but to be fair, Abomination was getting those huge inspiration buffs from Dolores, but I think it would be unfair for me not to show him with that. But you can see he's doing really well compared to, like, he's hitting more enemies, obviously, because he's in front of the wall, whereas Wrath and Arrogance are behind the wall, but he's really holding his own. As long as you put him with a healer, he's great. Let's get to the really good stuff now, the really fun stuff. So let's do one more run of Gear Raid 1 with really our main entire DPS coming just from the OG Lightlock. Again, guys, keep in mind, Power of Dominance is off. I don't want to see any comments talking about POD. It's always off, guys. I've learned my lesson from that very first time I made the mistake with Morrigan. We will run the same team. It really doesn't matter, though. We don't need to bring Eloin, I will say. And we don't need... We'll use Dolores for Lightlock. Let's make it fair to him, and you can really see how he shines. But these extra Nightmare units are just to be bodies to get the full buff from Wrath's Lord bonus. We will still use Maul for the decreased defense, but it's gonna be a pretty tiny team. I think you'll think it's pretty cool. I was testing this out with Lucifer. We were trying to see like the lowest team we could go with this build we have on Gluttony. So we're gonna point him up here, guys. This is like, if you're familiar with like those OG strats we're used to running. With our Lightlock. Our Lightlock's just in straight up attack. I will show the gear at the very end, guys, if you happen to be curious from all the heroes we used in this, but that's obviously not the point of the video. We'll get Dolores down just to help Lightlock a bit. Now we got to get Circuit and our nice warm bodies down in terms of our Nightmare units. We will keep Wrath down, I figure, because you're gonna use Wrath, right? If you have a bomb, you know, you get him on day 14, everyone can use him. Let's get some triggers going. Okay, let's get A-bomb down. We can immediately pick him up. And then when we get Arrogance down, you'll see we'll get that plus 35% attack speed buff. Everyone gets a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's take him out. So now we just got to get Maul down, and the whole comp's done. There's a pretty solid chance from my testing that this wall is going to fall, and even Gluttony could die. However, you're going to see we're still going to succeed, and it's pretty cool. I think he does a really nice job. So I'll fast forward through this a bit. We'll pick it up probably towards the end when this wall falls, when I think it's going to fall. And yeah, we'll wrap this video up. All right, guys, so down goes the wall. We can pick up Gluttony already. Now Wrath can get some of the heals. Unfortunately, actually, Dolores is taking some damage, but it will still be okay. It's not gonna be the perfect showcase of of our boy Lightlock, but it's not his showcase, it's Abomination. Well, down goes Wrath, so we can put someone else here just in the meantime until Gluttony's ready to go back up. Obviously, I pulled Gluttony when the wall went down. Let's wait, we got 10 seconds left. I think it'd be so cool if once you unlock like Power Dominance, once you 3-star a stage, so now we can put him back down and he can get the last bit of damage. If they let you like 3x even when you're manually fighting, I think that'd be pretty nice. Let's trigger with Maul. Maul is taking a beating over here, but he did hold on. And now we're down just to the boss. Down he's gonna go. We handled it pretty well. Half health left on the second wall. I really wanted to, demonstrate, like, kind of take us back in time to before the Lightlock nerf. Obviously, this is post-nerf, but you can still make it work. And even if you hadn't gotten lucky with getting Abomination epics, right? You can make this work with Gluttony. He absolutely fills that role. He does a really good job, as you guys are going to see. Because we had to take him down and Wrath stayed down, Wrath still put out good damage, Maul put out good damage, but really his point there was to just tank it out till the first wall fell. He did it. The damage was really solid, but Lightlock, he can still be a hero for this stage, guys. This is a super basic team you could run. You could use Maureen instead of Maul 100%, and this would still work. You might need slightly better HP DPS stuff on Gluttony. However, I'm actually happy it shook out this way because on my previous run, he actually did more damage, but this really articulates what the point I want to make and how I wanted to conclude this video. Guys, he is much better. He is new and improved. He is not an S-tier epic. He is not an endgame amazing epic. You could use him in the endgame, but he's not going to be this incredible, Maul level top end choice kind of thing like this. So I know people were getting really excited about this buff, thinking like, oh my God, we've got a total monster on our hands, S+ tier. Absolutely not. He's just a very solid, very usable epic. He is going to be excellent, excellent, excellent for progression for people through the early game, through the mid game. Like, for a great example, when I was talking with Lucifer, something he said, you might not want to, you might want to hold off 6-starring a tank, right? Because what is really the benefit there? They're really just a big tanky body. With Abomination, you are getting some proper damage and you can build him like a straight up tank, right? So you could be a lot more comfortable earlier on in the game 6-starring him. And really getting some nice bang from your buck. He's going to be amazing in campaign. He's obviously, I think, very, very good for Gear Raid 1. He is, I guess, technically usable in Guild Boss, but that's not where he's going to shine. But really, like campaign, Gear Raid 1, Gear Raid 2, up to a point. He's going to drop off a ton in the end game, as you might expect. He's not like an S-tier epic. He's just a very solid epic. In Gear Raid 2, he could properly tank for you with some decent gear. Obviously, Gear Raid 3, he won't be used, but he's gonna be really key, I think, as new players come, or if you guys have started recently, for helping you continue progressing, and gonna be a great champion to level up, to star up, to skill up. He is not going to be some game breaker, and definitely not on the level of a Dolores or a Wrath, but even not on the level of like Deimos, or I mean, Deimos is amazing, but you know what I mean. He's gonna be a full notch below that. He's gonna be more in the world of just the good epics, but not going to be in the broken, cracked out S-tier endgame epics. No way, Jose, as you saw there. So let's very quickly, well, that's how I want to end the video, but if you want to hang for a couple seconds, I'll just do my due diligence, show you guys the gear on everyone else. I'll just let you guys pause it if you want to see. There you go. We have got Void Gazer. You already saw the Soul Drainer. There you go. Eloin doesn't really matter, but there you can see Orb of Euphoria, of course. Here was from our guild boss fight. There's Volca. We went for some attack speed. She has her signature artifact level 1. Let's keep going and finding everyone. Whom else did we use? Here's Maul. Very, very, very basic build. I brought him just to the Awaken 3. I think that's very fair, very realistic. Awaken 5 might be a big, hard investment. A lot of people can and should bring him to Awaken 3 if they're going to use him. And we went really basic substats here. I just want to make sure we hit our basic threshold. So we went for crit rate, main stats, I mean. We went for attack speed, we went for attack bonus, not very high rolls, no purple in sight. You can see a super basic build. I didn't want him to be the star of the show. Wrath, solid build again. Low attack speed, but everything else is fine. He didn't even have his artifact on in the end. It really doesn't matter, guys. And then Dolores and your proper Dolores build, maxed out Ancestral Teachings. Then just a lot of attack speed, a lot of attack, the best you can do. There's not the best gear and stuff on this account, but there you guys go. Oh, and finally, of course, Lightlock. Lightlock, we did Ancestral Teachings as well. Let's get that attack up, baby. Awakening, I just brought him to Awaken 3. He is free to bring to Awaken 5 because you confuse him, but I wanted to keep it pretty realistic. Obviously, I think Awaken 3 helps a lot. And you can see his gear. Almost no crit to speak of. We just went for as high attack as we could possibly get. Lightlock is a mini little spotlight in this because Lightlock still totally works. He's just not cracked like he was before. Guys, let me know what you think of Gluttony. Are you still really excited about this rework? Are you a little disappointed? Let me know what you think. I guess the final thing I do want to add, part of the reason I think you're seeing damage that's pretty underwhelming, since we did get 90k HP on him, that's really high for an epic champion, is because if you guys are unfamiliar, the damage calculation in this game, the reason Dolores is so important and attack is so important is because the first part of the calculation is attack, your attack minus their defense, right? We don't know what the calculation is and how that works in the same way with HP. Is it his HP divided by, I don't know what the what do you call it, the denominator is going to be there, how they're going to modify, and then minus defense? Is it a whole other not damage dealing stat minus defense kind of thing? I don't know it yet. It hasn't been data mined. People haven't done enough research yet. He's not even out in the game yet with this new rework. So I think that is why he's hurting, because I mean, I was disappointed by that guild boss damage. And yeah, I think he's very solid. I don't think he's necessarily that more than that. Share it with your guildmate, share it with your friends, share it with your mother. I'll see you in the next one.
Fastidious.